Hello and welcome to Me with Bourne, or today is Coffee with Bourne, and I'd like to welcome Bernard Savage.
Hello, Sean.
Hello, Bernard. Now, I was trying to think the other day when we first met, and it's a fair few years.
It's a good few years. My recollection, just necessarily my recollection is, it's a very, very snowy day,
Yes.
which probably means it's in the winter. And it was off the A1, somewhere in Lincolnshire or North Nottinghamshire. I reckon it's got to be 12, 14 years ago, 15 years ago.
Yeah, I think it has actually, maybe even a touch longer.
Yeah.
And it was, your business, which we'll talk about in a second, that was my first sort of real engagement with you and your business, which is, I think, got the coolest name, size 10.5 boot.
Don't forget the half.
The half bit's important.
It causes a nightmare with the HMRC.
Really?
Yeah, because it's when the company was originally registered, you have to say 10.5. It can't do the half sign, and the half needs to be in the what's the technical word when you write half? Like,
oh, you're asking me a question now. We're both glancing at Colin. Colin's looking blank.
it
We'll
was
skip past that.
yeah. I wish it'd just be called size 10. It would have been made like, let's see it.
No,
And then before we get into funds with design perspective,
yeah,
big problem.
yeah. So why?
Why indeed? So first half of my career, Sean, worked in a very sort of traditional blue chip environment.
Yeah.
Procter and Gamble and Shell, fantastic companies, fantastic experience. But I always felt slightly constrained by the corporate nature of working at those big organizations. And when I started working for myself, which is 21 years ago now, one of the promises I made to myself was I was going to do it on my terms, my way, and my personality. And if people don't like that, then so be it.
Yeah.
So anyone that's had any contact with me will know I'm an avid follower of Mansfield Town Football Club.
Yes.
Despite the fact I grew up in North London, no logical reason why I should ever follow Mansfield, but Mansfield Town have followed my life. Everything has been connected with Mansfield in some way. And 24th of May 87, Mansfield Town had their moment in the sun. They won a penalty shootout at Wembley in the cup final. And the goalkeeper kept the ball out of the net twice, saved 2 penalties, but used his feet.
Okay.
And when he was interviewed after the game, he said, who needs size 10.5s like me? Which resonated with me, Sean, on many levels. Number one, these are 10.5s.
Yeah.
Number two, it kind of plays to the fact that I've never been particularly conventional, not to be wacky or different for the sake of it, but I take the view that a lot of business decisions are done through inertia rather than anyone ever challenging and saying there might be another way to do that. Yeah, a better way. Yeah. So yes, you would imagine a goalkeeper would try and use his or her hands to keep the ball on it, but who cares? The guy uses feet.
He's booked to it. Yeah.
And it's about results. And my business, the agency 10.5, is all about delivering results. In this case of a professional service firm, is rather than full yards.
Yeah.
And size 10.5 boots.
Yeah. And weirdly, you see, I knew that story, but after probably knowing you for a little while, I presumed it was because that little bit extra made the difference.
Say all that. Oh. You better check the internet and property rights. I might have to revisit the client value proposition.
So prominently then, professional services that you specialise.
Yeah.
And how do you, how do you help them?
It's all about growth. Yeah. And that growth can be on an individual level. So over the years, there's been quite a bit of one-on-one work. Yeah. In terms of coaching. It can be growth in a group training environment. It can be business growth when it comes to strategy. Yeah. But it's about building stuff. It's not about making things look pretty or about fluff. It's about practical stuff that helps build.
Cool. Now, I obviously follow you on LinkedIn, and when we all got a few years ago now, when we all had to stay at home for a while, I think we'll remember that vividly. Yeah, I think you did something really cool, and you really you started a list of music to listen to. I'm forgetting.
A playlist is the word you're looking for. Yeah, Spotify playlist.
Playlist, that's it. That's where I'm digging for. And I actually noticed that you have very similar tastes in music to myself, quite varied, but there is a bit of a hardcore similarity in some of the stuff. always used to listen to it, and most Fridays I'm looking for it. Got to be honest, and it's kind of, and I think that was a really nice thing for you to do. To put yourself out and do it, but you've carried on that. It's continuing even to today.
I don't do the half measures, Sean. I've got the original idea wasn't mine. Yeah, it was Doug McPherson's, who was my business partner for a number of years.
Yeah,
Doug moved on about 3 years ago. His idea, there was an immediate engagement, and yeah, because I am a pretty much all or nothing sort of person, I've stuck with it every single Thursday afternoon for what is now nearly 6 years. There's only been 2 weeks in 6 years where it hasn't been published, and that was due to some LinkedIn tech issues. But yeah, it's been brilliant, and what it's meant is the business. What does 10.5 actually do? Like, really, it's about helping people grow relationships at some level. Music is just a great connector.
Oh, it is.
If only to start conversations.
Yeah.
But what I've found over the years is that people I knew before the playlist called Hashtag Friday on My Mind.
Yeah.
The playlist started. It actually led to better conversations of people getting to know you on a more personal level.
Yeah.
But equally, complete strangers have found their way to my front door through the playlists. So it's been brilliant.
Kind of bit of a genius marketing angle. I think you did. That was. I think you did it for not for those purposes. I think you just wanted to be out there.
I think initially during COVID, it was very much
Everybody was helping each other. It was a bad time.
wasn't a lot going on, was there?
There was very little going on. Yeah, totally. I found myself doing some weird and wonderful stuff. So yeah, still that's great, and that still goes today. So that's fantastic. So has the business over the years moved, changed, developed?
In some ways, it's exactly the same. In other ways, it's changed a lot. So what hasn't changed in 20 years is a commitment to people and relationships. The word relationships bandied around a lot, but I'm talking about genuinely investing in people.
Yeah.
Playing the long ball game. If we're going to take the football analogy, and staying visible when you're not being instructed. So that hasn't changed at all. The other thing that hasn't changed at all is the business was set up with the intention of working specifically with professional service firms. That hasn't changed.
No.
Perhaps the definition of professional service teams might have changed a tad, but we're still working with law firms, barristers' chambers, accountants, patent and trademark firms, and architects.
Okay. Yeah.
And then sometimes businesses that support those particular professions. That hasn't changed. I think the things that have changed.
Well, they said that. Sorry to briefly interrupt you. Got somebody you need to talk to there. So we'll talk about that if he is.
Going to be intrigued now for the rest of this conversation.
Excellent.
In terms of what has changed, I think there's a lot more one-on-one work now.
Yeah.
A lot more one-on-one. I think in the early days, there's a lot of group training, still quite a bit of group training, but the challenge you've always got when you've got a group of individuals is, even if they've got the same job titles, hopefully they've got different personalities.
Oh, yeah, massive.
They are likely to be at perhaps different stages in their career, have different set of expectations, personal goals, personal motivators, different client portfolios. I could go on, but so you're always slightly limited by putting messages out there that are not going to have broad scale applicability or mean different things to different people. The other thing is, when you're working with people in a group, it's much easier one-on-one to get to the heart of the issue. And that actually lends itself to more interesting conversations and get to know people on a much more personal level. Yeah, much more interesting level. So a lot more one-on-one work, I would say. And increasingly, whilst it's always been the case, it's more and more about practicality. No one's interested in. My client's not interested in theory. That's all very interesting. But what does that mean for me? What do I need to do today, next Monday, the Monday after, and the next 12 months? Show me, demonstrate something.
Yeah. So do you find people open up to you quite easily when you're in that? I always think sometimes, perhaps incorrectly, that professional service people might be a little bit closed with, "Oh, I've made a mistake," or "I don't want to admit." Do you find they open up okay and easy?
One of the best bits of advice I had was from an old line manager, an old boss of mine when I worked in-house at Shell. I'll name checking because, yeah, it's a only name check, but it's a positive story. His name was Dave Armstrong. And I've been incredibly fortunate in my career. I had a normal job. Yeah, I've had a number of exceptional bosses, exceptional. And Dave is in that category. And I remember one conversation with Dave. I just joined from P&G and I'd been in the business about, I don't know, a few weeks. Yeah. And Dave pointed out that perhaps I, at that time, was too quick to find solutions to things and come up with a technical fix. And the coaching he gave me then is you've got to get people's emotional buy-in before you can come up with any kind of solution. And to this day, what are we now, 25 years later, whatever the project, have I got buy-in? To answer your question, that does take time. And typically it's a lot easier to do one-on-one than it is the group situation. Even if there is a group situation, I'll try and engineer a way of picking people off because until you've got emotional buy-in, you're not going to be able to make a difference. Well, there's a limit to what difference you're going to make.
Yeah. Now, I've noticed you kind of go on tour after the.
I do.
Talk to me. What's that? Avail. Is that seeing clients on a regular basis and just being in front of?
It is that and a lot more. The word I encourage my clients to use to think about marketing BDs, to think in terms of visibility and relationships. I think terms like marketing and business development are they can get in the way. They can actually hinder progress and I think scare people. If you are visible, and you get on with people, and you follow up and you add value, the work will look after itself. Yeah. So some of it is about walking the talk. There's some other factors in there as well, which is that I've always had quite a low concentration threshold. I am bored easily. The idea of being in the same place every day. Yeah. I never did that either when I had a conventional job. I engineered it so I could get out and about. So so there's that. Third factor is I'm a great believer in learning from different environments. So when I'm out and about, I'm constantly on the look and listening out for anything that just seeing good practice and thinking, right, what can I do with that? Yeah. How can I apply that somewhere else? I just find it incredibly educational as well as personally rewarding.
Yeah, because I spend quite a bit of time on LinkedIn. I find it a great tool for my business, me personally, and inspiration, and just looking about what's happening in business. And I do notice you on LinkedIn a lot, and you point out things that you've seen as you're on your travels. I think it's just going to learn from this or look at this as an example. I think it works really well.
Thank you. I think, as we are all grappling with AI, and for me, it makes the authenticity and the relationship building stuff even more important. So it's about not just in LinkedIn, but I think in how you put yourself out there, giving people a sense of who's the person behind the suit. Yeah. And so I probably do overcook, apologies for the pun, references to food, over reference Mansfield Town Football Club, do make unnecessary musical references, but that's who I am.
That's who you are.
And it connects with people. And if people don't like that, they're probably not the right people.
Right for
you. So that's fine too.
No, and I get that completely. That's probably, I like it because, I'm quite simple.
I'm not popular with Coldplay fans though. Oh, that's the thing. Coldplay have near, as well as annoying me on a musical level, they probably lost me business for my ape and dislike of them.
I would be with you. I'm not a fan, unfortunately. But so just turning it back to the suits. I've always found it quite difficult on occasions to interact with senior partners of law firms or accountancy firms, and I'm not quite sure why. Maybe I'm a little bit over friendly and a little bit over chatty, and how do you interact? Do you find it easy to interact with that sort of level of business?
It makes no odds to me.
Makes no odds.
I've got many gripes, I suppose, growing up as a child, differences with my parents, but there's some fundamentals that they taught us as children, which stick with me today and actually help me. Yeah. And one of them was you treat everyone. It makes no difference whether somebody cleans the toilets or
Yeah.
runs a FTSE 100 company.
Absolutely.
So I can honestly say it makes absolutely no odds to me. I treat everyone the same. I'm not intimidated by something because of their job title. And actually, in fairness to the roles that you've sort of highlighted, I'd actually say that the senior partners, managing partners, are actually not as difficult as middle managers that I find most difficult, because you'd hope and expect that someone at that level of seniority has got some degree of emotional intelligence, so should be able to put you at ease and make you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
In my experience, it's often the middle managers that might have a chip in their shoulder, want to flex their muscles,
Sure.
who can be more intimidating, more tricky customers.
Do you know what? I think you've nailed it there. I think sometimes I am slightly intimidated by a job title or an office environment because I'm not really used to it. But I mean, I had a lovely lunch and beer with managing director of a very large company on Friday, and he was the nicest guy in the world. He was so unbelievably relaxed. So yeah. So 2026.
We're in 2026.
We are in 2026, which is terrifying. So what's you got a nice little business development angle that you could give us as a sort of a little thing that might change this year in business development? I mean, I always say be authentic, be yourself, be honest. But
I think, the biggest thing people are talking about and have been probably for the last 12 months is AI, isn't it?
yeah,
And for me, AI just makes the case for authenticity and investing in relationships and being visible to connecting people as human beings stronger than ever.
yeah,
I mean, I'm just really excited by AI. One, because I think it plays to my business model. And secondly, look at all the practical time-saving opportunities it presents. So, like everyone else, I'm learning how to use it, but yeah, making some good headway. So I feel quite positive by AI, and I get a little bit disgruntled by some of the more negative.
yeah. So I just think spot it as a tool to use to help me, so I have more time to go and see and shake hands.
Exactly. I'm going to give the example from the last 24 hours. Oh, so to be a bit cryptic here, but I saw a client on Friday, existing client, but that existing client came to me and asked whether I'd be interested in developing that role, expanding my involvement in the business.
Yeah,
He's got a board meeting on Monday and needs something on paper.
yeah,
I went on, used a LMM model, don't advertise any particular one. I think everyone knows what we're talking about. Downloaded it, just had a mind dump of what the opportunity was, what the scope as I see it. Attached a proposal of a document I've written and produced, my intellectual property, and said, using the document, using the format, produce something. It's come back with something which is frankly 90% done.
yeah.
Spend 15 minutes, 20 minutes tweaking it.
Yeah,
Pressed the send button on Sunday afternoon. He's really pleased as I turned it around really quickly.
Yeah.
Didn't particularly encroach on my weekend. And got a call with him at 6 o'clock today, and
fabulous.
hopefully we'll get a positive answer.
Oh, that's good. No, that's great. That's very good to know. So, how do you relax? How do you switch off?
Sure.
You don't do. I never switch off. I am always.
I'm one of those people. If someone says, "Why don't you just sit down?" or "Why don't you?" This. You've got me sitting down now. This is quite unusual. Even when I'm working from home, I've got a standing up desk.
Have you?
Which I do sit down some of the time, but a lot of the time I am standing up. I'm not really a relaxed sort of person.
Yeah.
The idea of, I don't know, lounging about in a sun lounge on the beach, I can't think of anything more boring.
Okay.
Yeah, not my idea of fun at all.
You don't just sit in a room and listen to an album, or
The little relaxing I do would probably, it depends how you define relax, doesn't it, really? Because, I mean, I listen to quite a lot of music, so that's probably, just reading and listening to music would be as close to what other people would see as relaxing. People that don't know me very well will say, "Oh, but you go to football." That's not relaxing. There's nothing relaxing about that at all. It's really stressful.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, I totally get that. So
That's been a reason back. I like pubs. I've always liked pubs.
yeah,
Yeah, big fan of the pubs. All for saving traditional pubs.
like there are very few of them left. And actually, apart from the ones, well, turning it back to marketing again, there's very successful small tin pubs in the local area, certainly on my side of the city. I'm sort of Radcliffe upon Trent, the south side of Nottingham. They've got several. You can go in you could go in each one and recognise it's from the family, that family of, and they've got it right. They're just another one on Gunthorpe Bridge, and it's just everything's spot on. In fact, they've got both of them on Gunthorpe Bridge, and they do it really, really well. But no, on the music side, I use certain kinds of music to put me in certain kinds of moods. So if I'm going home, I like to wear a bit of chill out. If I'm going to a meeting and I feel my energy levels a bit low, and a bit of prodigy or whatever, hype me up again. So I use music, and because I know you're a music guy, and if you could relax with it, etc. But
I don't think I'm quite as, I don't know, calculated or finical
yeah,
as that. It's
okay.
just whatever takes my mood. Really.
Yeah,
I don't know. If there was a common denominator, I do like a bit of misery.
Bit of misery.
Well, grit. It's got to hurt.
Okay,
It's got to hurt a bit. And if I look at genres going from jazz right through to indie, ska, punk, new wave, there's a dark side to all of it.
Yeah.
There's pain. The same with films. It's got to be miserable. It's got to be depressing. I can't be. I'm not really into car chases and happy endings.
No, bit of grit.
There's got to be some grit.
I like a bit of grit.
It's got to hurt a bit. Got to try hard to get that enjoyment.
Yeah. So what's next for what's next?
I think one this year for me. In recent years, there has been kind of business gone through different cycles over those 20 years. In the early days, it was very small number of clients, big projects. And then it's kind of gone to big volume of clients, smaller projects. Which at times has been a bit trip to trip. The other side has been losing a client doesn't have the same impact. This year is more about retain clients. Definitely. That's where the business is going.
Okay.
And retain clients that where effectively you are acting as a trusted advisor, almost a non-exec director. So the remit is wider than can you come in and do some networking training? Or can you come in and talk at this away day? That's all great. But I like really getting close to what's really going on in the business at the strategic level and being privy to conversations.
Yeah. I mean, we walk in as a creative agency, sit with the MD, the marketing director, whoever it might be. If we walk in on that SME level with the MD, we come out of that meeting knowing probably way more than we ought to know because they just open up.
Yeah.
But as a flip side of that, we then know the business really well, and we can then say, I know you've asked me for this, but actually, have you thought about the other side of you? Oh, right, okay. And those conversations, we're just about to engage with a company in Repton, actually. Great guy, successful business, wanting to do other things. So putting a team in place so he can do that, and bringing us in as sort of not marketing, because they have a marketing manager, but supporting that marketing manager in creative and strategy. So that's kind of cool. But it's amazing what they tell. Do you find that with they just open up?
Sign of if you've got a close relationship, then you get to know people on quite a personal level.
You do, yeah.
I always think one marker is when they start sending you WhatsApp messages. You've got to another level.
Yeah, I must admit, the last couple of years, the amount of channels, I think Carl is good and shit. I do go and get so many channels, so LinkedIn messages, email, WhatsApp, text, and I do get quite a few phone calls over the weekend or text messages. I've had an idea, because it's fresh in their mind, yes, and they just want it. So I'll go, talk to you Monday. So I kind of bat it to the side, but I will pick my phone up at the weekend to a client. It's never a problem. Or late evenings, it's never a problem. Because I think if you do that kind of thing, you're more than a supplier then. You're in that support role.
Also, it means that if you've got a genuine relationship, it doesn't make any difference, personal and professional, the rules are the same. If you've got a genuine relationship, it means when you do make a mistake,
Yeah.
which we all do,
We can talk about it.
we can talk about it, and it's not a showstopper.
Exactly, yeah.
So when you want to, it might not be a mistake. Mistakes one scenario, another one might be you want a favour.
Yes.
You want to be understanding about something, and people will be much more likely to say yes
Yeah.
if you have a proper relationship. Sure.
So, question for you now, which I've been asked this a lot recently, so I thought I would ask yourself, see if you have any information you can put toward this. I've been asked quite recently. Quite a few people have put out a proposal document, not a tender, proposal. Tenders are different. A proposal document to customers. They've spent time doing it and creating it. They've sent it to the client, tap to us, and then you just get ghosted. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think that people are out there just fishing and they're thinking of it, so they'll get documents into research? And then on the flip side of that, what's the best way to then go back from being ghosted to try and start the conversation again?
Okay. So first thing is, yes, absolutely. Regrettably, it does happen.
Yeah.
I don't think, I think it's inexcusable. I think it's just common courtesy.
Yeah.
If someone's not interested, just say not interested. If you give feedback as well, that's brilliant. That can be really helpful.
Yeah.
So I think it's completely inexcusable. How do I handle it? I adopt a very proactive approach in terms of follow-up and chasing people. I would like to think I'm never impolite or appear to be aggressive in that follow-up, but when you're getting 2, 3, even 4 failures to acknowledge emails, when it gets to that point, I will send a very direct message, which will say something like, assume that not interested anymore.
Yeah.
Going to sue that unless I hear otherwise.
Yeah.
Something like that. And often they do come back and then they apologize and sometimes say, no, you're still in the running, or just with things to change. But I just think it's part of doing business. One thing I would say is, if I turn the clock back, I don't know, don't put a time period on it, but there certainly was a time when I was probably too eager to put together a forward proposal. Whereas what I do now is
Qualifying a bit more.
a lot more qualification.
Yeah.
And over the years, and I found almost there's an inverse relationship between degree of formality in a proposal
Yeah.
and actually getting a yes.
Yeah.
So the format for a proposal today was quite different, or takes a lot more formats than it used to, whereas there would be a sort of standard response.
I get that.
So I'm spending less time perhaps writing proposals than we used to.
Yeah.
I'm getting a higher amount of yeses for the ones that do go out the door.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I must admit, we tweaked ours 2 or 3 years ago, and we saw quite a step up the uptake. But yeah, back ghosting bit, I find it lazy. It's just rude. It doesn't take 2 minutes to go, you're out the equation or still trying to sort it out. But the ghosting bit, no response, just, yeah, then. But I'm finding more of people asking me that off record. Sean, can I ask you, do you get it?
I can't corroborate, I'm going to say, but my judgment is there is more ghosting from inquiries that have come about for online inquiries.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm pretty certain there is. I think that's why I've always been a little bit skeptical of agencies who have encouraged me to overinvest online on the basis it would generate on more inquiries.
Yeah.
Because it might generate more inquiries, but if ultimately it's no business, what's the point?
Yeah, and we've always been a face-to-face kind of agency, getting in front of people. If we're getting in front of people, we tend to do very well. And yes, okay, harder, might take you longer to get in front of people than just answer an email. But in the long run, sound that better. And I encourage my clients that we help with that side of business to get in front of people. Anybody can sit my tenders who they can click it out. You might be lucky, hit the odd one. But if you get the right communication from the start, start the relationship start a relationship, so it's all good to go. So things looking bright.
Things are looking bright, despite the gloomy weather.
Despite the grey weather outside today, but Bernard, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for coming along, and yeah, all the best.
Thank you. Sure.